to our channel. This is the Savvy Blondes. I'm Ash.
And I'm Caitlin.
And we have special guest Erin Call with us today. She is the spiritual CEO, and we are so excited to be talking with her today and next week as well about business, about launching your own business, how to market yourself, all that kind of good stuff. We're super excited to be able to share her with you guys, and we'll keep telling you through the video where you guys can find her on social media if you want to get in touch, because what she does, she mentors people, and I'll let her tell a little bit more about what she does. But the reason we wanted to have her here on the show is because as millennials, we're noticing that it's really difficult to make ends meet with just one job. And so more and more millennials are either going out and getting a second job, or they're starting their own business. And I think there's something within millennials that really loves the idea of being their own boss. And so it's kind of a trending thing right now to have your own business and to be an entrepreneur. But we want to know, how do you do it the right way? How do you do it so that you're not, maybe falling for schemes that are just going to take your money and run? How do you do it so that you're not feeling like you're constantly bugging your friends and family to buy your things or, buy your services? Like, how do we do this the right way? So here to help us today is Erin Call, our spiritual CEO, and we're just going to go ahead and jump right in. So Erin, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Well, thank you guys so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. So I actually started out, I'm a life and business coach for women now. I started out owning a brick and mortar business. I got into internet marketing, network marketing, which they're going to ask me a lot about today because there's a lot of preconceived notions about that, and I will tell you the nitty-gritty about all that. And from there, it was a natural progression into mentoring and coaching women to really tap into who they truly are so that they can have these soul-aligned businesses, because that's something that I really believe in, is doing something that you're passionate about. Because like you said, there's so many women these days, or women, men, millennials, whatever, that see the possibility in entrepreneurship, but can get stuck in the trap of there's so many opportunities, like what do I do, where do I go? And really getting soul aligned is something that I found has helped me find a lot of success. So
yeah, do you find that oftentimes, just because I know obviously we don't want to be wasting our time, we want to make money,
sure,
right? I mean, that's at the end of the day, we're in this to get paid.
Yeah.
Do you find that pursuing your passion, the money naturally comes if you're in that, or is it something where you kind of have to look at the most lucrative things, find something that kind of speaks to you, and then develop your passion towards that? What do you...
The spiritual and the business side of me both say that what you're passionate about, if you are aligned, and I don't know how woo y'all are, but
we're woo.
Yeah. Okay.
We're woo.
If you are aligned with what you feel called to do, the universe will always have your back. It will. I always tell people that, put the money aside. How do you want to show up and serve? Who do you want to be known as? What do you want to be known for? What impact do you want to leave? And you will always figure out the how.
I love that. Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so we're going to jump into our very first question, which is, if you're looking to start a side hustle and you want to join a network marketing company, a company that's kind of already built for you, that kind of gives you that opportunity to become, a business owner, however they want to phrase it for you, how do you choose the right one? There's so many to choose from. How do you go about picking which one you want to be a part of?
I think that's a great question, because I think that there's also a lot of preconceived notions about network marketing, whether that be good or bad. And even though I'm not in network marketing anymore, I'm a huge proponent for the business model, because I do think that it's an incredible catalyst into entrepreneurship for people. And that's what I notice a lot, is people get into entrepreneurship through network marketing because it's a catalyst for self-development, growth, and all the foundational things that you need to build a successful business. And so for me, I naturally got into it in the beauty industry because I owned a spray tan studio prior to network marketing. I know.
Who's done it all?
Spray tan studio, beauty, network marketing, and
right, spray tan to spiritual CEO.
Yeah,
growth is always happening. Yeah, right.
And so it was a natural progression for me to kind of just continue in the beauty industry. But I know that it has to be something you're passionate about. I've seen friends and business partners and people that I know get into businesses prior to even trying the products. It looks like a great business model. It has a really good, compensation plan, or they see people being successful and they're like, cool, I'm going to jump into that. And I actually had a friend have someone tell her that, well, not everybody that, sells BMWs drives them. And we were like, that's not how it works. You have to be passionate about what you're doing. So I think really looking at the history of the company. How did it start? Where did it start? Like, what are the roots of it? How is it run? What is the compensation plan? Which, to be honest, when I got my first network marketing company, I had absolutely no idea about the compensation plan. I was like, I love the product, great, okay.
You're like, I'll just trust the company. And
right, and it was, but the second time around, I did a ton of research about the comp plan. That's huge. I mean, you want to get paid. You're not in this as a hobby. You want to make money, right? So I guess that would be
like your number one thing is find a product you believe in and then research the hell out of it, essentially. Just make sure that you're not getting into something sketch.
Well, yeah, for sure. And I don't think you can always know, but I think, like, if you're in tune with yourself, like, your intuition will tell you. And, like, I would like to look at some of, like, the leaders in the company and see, like, how do they promote the product? What is like the vibe that the company is putting out there? You know, if you're spiritual or in tune with yourself at all, you can tell if a vibe feels off, right? Like, energy doesn't lie. Energy is transferable. So if you like the way that the product's being promoted, the way that the people are branding themselves, then, I mean, that's also a telltale sign.
I love that. That's really good. So, do you have any other questions about the network marketing thing? Or
No.
I think she covered it.
I think she did.
Awesome.
She just keeps talking.
No, it's awesome.
She just keeps talking.
So, all right, so let's say you start a side hustle and you're like really growing it, and we'll get more into the nitty gritty of like how exactly to do that. But at what point do you know when it's time for your side hustle to become your main hustle? At what point are you like a full-fledged, full-time entrepreneur?
It's a good question.
It's like a scary jump.
Right. Oh, it is. And I see so many people like at the brink of like, okay, do I jump? Do I have faith?
Right.
Do I keep my safety net? I am a proponent of going all in. My story is a little bit different. I quit my corporate job to find my passion because I was at a point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. I went back to school and then I started my business. So mine was a little bit different. But I will tell you that I had my brick and mortar business and got into network marketing about when my business was already really growing. So I was making a good amount of money in my brick and mortar business and then got into network marketing. So how did I decide to go full time in network marketing? I guess I could explain that. Was I got to the point where I saw the income being replaced, but then I also saw the potential and the freedom, and I was like, okay, so being in business for myself online means that I'm not tied to this schedule. And so for me, like, that was one of the things where I was like, okay, I can see the income, right? Like, I mean, I can see the correlation there, but then I can also see that this fits the lifestyle that I want. And I'm always a big proponent of, like, how do you want to live? How do you want to feel? Let's take action based on that. So that's huge. If it's starting to take up a ton of your, and I mean it will, you'll put in time in the beginning and not always reap the benefits immediately.
Right.
But if you are putting in the time and you're reaping the benefits at that point, right? Like, you're seeing the income come in, you're seeing that you're passionate about this, you're trending. I mean, that's kind of when I see people jump, and I'm such a big proponent of, like, if you decide, right? Like, if you decide, okay, it is going to replace this income, or this is going to be my full-time thing, you will figure out the how, but you have to jump. Like, you can't, I'm a big believer that you can't have your foot in two doors necessarily, right? Like, you can't do two things fully.
Sure.
And so, you'll know. I think that your gut tells you.
Yeah. So if I was one of your clients, so right now you work with women to help them grow their business in a very, like, spiritual,
Mindset,
energetic mindset way. So if I was one of your clients and I was kind of seeing that, like, okay, this has the potential, like, it's starting to replace income, I can see that people are responding to me, I'm really, operating in my gifts, and I'm, following my passions, but I'm scared to jump because maybe I'm afraid to fail. I'm afraid that once I go full time, suddenly all the clients are gonna leave. And, like, what would you tell me if I was your client and I was saying I'm a little scared?
Well, I wouldn't tell you to just jump. I would dig into, like, why.
Okay.
Like, what is the root of you thinking that everything is going good and then all of a sudden it's just gonna, right? So, like, what is your belief around having the faith that it's gonna continue? Like, because a lot of times people have the belief that, like, it can't be too good.
Right.
Right. And a lot of, I mean, the results that you're going to get are based on the belief system that you have. Like, you don't get what you want, you get what you believe you are. So we have to create the foundational belief of, like, it gets to be this good, it gets to flow, it gets to always get better. And, like, in order to create that, we have to dig into the root of, like, why do you think maybe that's not true?
Ooh, I like that. What do
Yeah.
you think about that?
Yeah, I really like that. I think that it's like, I don't know, like, it's true. Like, I think that a lot of times we get so in our heads that, like, that's literally what we're putting out there. Like, you are going to lose all the clients if you're like, oh my god, they're all going to leave me.
Yeah, because your energy is going to be funky, and people can feel your energy,
Yeah.
and they're going to be like, she doesn't believe in herself. I don't believe in her.
Like, why am I calling her goodbye?
Oh my gosh, I love that.
It's like where you are right now is a manifestation of like who you used to be, right? So like what you're gonna get tomorrow is a manifestation of who you are right now. So you have to have that faith first.
Right.
You have to have that belief first in order for then all the things to come.
Totally. And I know you talk a lot in your business. I like totally stalk you in your business. I'm like a big fan of what you do. Plus we're kind of friends. So you know, I know one of your really big things is kind of stepping into that next evolution of yourself, if you will. Can you talk to us a little bit about that, like what that means to you and why you're such a big proponent of that?
For sure. Yeah, no, that's huge because I always say acting as if, right? Like in order to get to the next level, you need to first act as that, right? Like you need to act as a woman that has those things in order for these things to come to her, right? Like you need to believe before you receive. I think there's like a saying that is something about like the universe is going to follow you basically. So like you have to go first. You have to be the one to take the first scary step and to act as if, to feel into the energy of, right? To feel into the energy of the woman who has those high paying clients or has, you know, that big team that she leads. Like you need to step into her first energetically, meaning the belief has to be there.
Right. What does that look like on like a day-to-day basis for you?
So I always tell people when you're acting as if, when you're trying to energetically step into, like I always say, the next level version of you, right? Like, what is her belief system? What are the things that she would do every day? Like, when would she wake up? How would she dress? How would she look? Like, who would she be around? Where would she go and where? What type of self-development would she do every single day? What are the ways in which she would take care of herself? Like, what would she make time for that maybe you're not making time for right now because you think that you have to hustle and grind so hard to get the results you want that you're forgetting about the important stuff that you would do if you had this. What if you flip that thinking and are like, you know what, I'm going to do that now so then I can have these results. So it's like, we flip it, you know, we flip-flop it. And so it's really visualizing that, feeling into that energy, and then taking that action.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. So with that, like when you're obviously thinking about these things, you're kind of streamlining it like all towards creating like a personal brand, like a brand for yourself, a brand for your business. How do you go about creating that? Like what do you do with your clients?
Cool. Okay, so I mean, just because we were talking about network marketing, I will touch on that and then we can talk about it in terms of like if you have a business that's totally just you. But in network marketing, what I would always tell my team is your brand is the mark that you leave on people, like how people know you, like you, trust you, remember you. Like you want people saying, I need more of her in my life, right? And so your brand is you, it's not your product. So if you are thinking of getting into network marketing or you are in network marketing, a lot of times people think, oh, well, my brand is already given to me. My brand is Lime Life, my brand is Rodan and Fields. And it's like, no, that is like the product that you represent. But the smartest thing that you can ever do is like embody your own brand, right?
That's really
and so well, it's true because, you know, if you take on that, what's the word I'm thinking of? If you take it on as you're your own brand, I mean, it's the same thing if you own your own business, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is that a lot of times people don't treat network marketing like it's a real business, right?
Sure.
If they choose to do that, then they get business results. And so one of the things that I would always tell my clients is that, or my clients, my team, is that storytelling is one of the most underrated ways to market. And so like how can you incorporate your life, your business, your family, your personality, right? I would always say pick 3 things, right? Yeah. So I know some people say 5. I always said 3. I thought that simplified it, but like
it's easier to remember 3 things.
Yeah. I don't know, I always am like 3, but I know there's like a thing that it's 5. It's like friends, family, I don't know. But I always said pick 3 things. Okay. Like what are the 3 things that really, really are a part of your life? So for me it was like nature, fitness, like health and wellness type stuff. Then it was like my relationship with my husband and my kids, and then, you know, my business. And I always weaved in my personality, right? Like I'm sarcastic, so I'm going to tell you the funny things, I'm going to tell you when I fall on my face, and I'm going to tell you the inspiring and the empowering things. And it's really just how would you talk to people, right? Like incorporating that into the videos and into the content that you put out there, right? Like having a voice in your content, because I know that sometimes you read content and it's like it can be so dry, it can be perceived so dry, but like when you infuse your voice into your brand and into the content that you post, like people can feel into that, right? People begin to like you and trust you and are like, okay, I can relate to her. And like, because there's so many people that sell things, right? Like, what makes you stand out, I guess.
Right, yeah.
The big thing.
And I think that's one of the biggest challenges for entrepreneurs, whether you're starting in with a network marketing company or whether you're starting your own company, is, you know, entrepreneurs right now are a dime a dozen. How are you differentiating yourself and making yourself memorable?
Yeah. For sure. And I think one of the things that comes up is because there's, you know, especially in the online space, you see so many entrepreneurs. I mean, you're looking at your Facebook, your Instagram, whatever, and like somebody sells something or represents something, you know, and we get this imposter syndrome of like, she's successful, so I have to do it like her. She's doing this, so I should do this. And it's like, when I stripped that back and like let my ego go and said, okay, I'm just gonna listen to my soul. I'm gonna listen inside and like what feels good for me, what feels authentic to me. Because like now with how many entrepreneurs are out there in the online space, like inauthenticity, I always tell my clients this, like inauthenticity doesn't stand a chance.
No.
So if you are trying to duplicate what she does because she's successful or what this person does, if it's not you, it's not going to work. And like,
it's so true.
It's a hard thing and a beautiful thing all at once, right? You know?
No, it's so true. I feel like there have, you know, just being very honest, there's a lot of people I've had to unfollow on social media just because, like, for my own sanity and my own sake, because I was falling into that trap of, oh, well, she's over here doing that, and maybe I could weave that into my business. And then suddenly you're trying to be all things to all people, and you can't do that.
Well, and there's something to be said about like being inspired by somebody,
sure,
rather than feeling like an imposter because of somebody else or feeling like you're comparing, right? So I always tell my clients, like, create more than you consume, right? You can consume a little bit of content, right, for inspiration or education or personal growth or personal development, but if you are consuming and not creating, you're like fueling into what everybody else is doing, and that is just creating this like imposter feeling for you, versus like consuming a little and then focusing on like what can you create.
Yeah, I love that. So back to the 3 things, right? That can be either something you have going on in your life or something about yourself, right?
Mm-hmm. No, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. So I was gonna say, like, what are your 3 things, and then maybe we can all kind of share what our 3 things would be that we try to bring into our business.
Perfect. So I guess mine would be like faith, spirituality, like that kind of part of me. My relationship with my husband and my kids, because I think that the balance between masculine and feminine energy, and the balance between like this hustle side of me and this is my business, but then also like this is my life. Like people want to know you. They want to know like your personal, you know. So I guess my family, my relationship with my husband's kind of tied in together. Spirituality, business, I guess, are kind of tied in together, and then health and wellness. So I talk a lot about like what I eat, yoga, you know, just like getting out in nature. Those type of things are important to me.
What about you?
Mine are hard because like my personal brand is like something that I feel like is like constantly evolving, especially like with being a title holder in the pageant now. Like I feel like my brand is like changing like every day because I'm trying to like make it not fit a mold, but like fit like that person that like I want to be.
Right,
so
like you're stepping into it.
I'm shifting it a little bit, which is like super awesome, but it's also different like kind of depending on like if I'm just like myself or if like I'm focusing on one of my businesses, because like I am one of those people that has like 2 businesses right now, and then I'm like opening 2 more right now, and so it's different for everyone, but like I feel like the things that like I post about the most are like reality. Like I'm super like, okay guys, like let's be blunt here, like this is the reality of the situation, like not everything is sunshine, rainbows, pony sprinkles, whatever, like
Pony sprinkles.
yeah, like
pony sprinkles.
It's not like that. Like I always think back to that post I made on my title holder account where I had posted this picture of me with a plate that had like sugar cookies on it and a bunch of pizza, and I'm drinking a high C, and like there's gumballs, and somebody commented on my picture and was like, oh my gosh, like that's what you get when you let toddlers eat or pick out what you eat, because I had put the caption as like the perfect pageant diet. And I like reposted this on my title holder social media after I posted it on my personal accounts, and I was like, listen guys, like this is my diet. Like this is what I eat. This is not because like a toddler picked it out for me. Like the reality of the situation is I don't care what I'm putting in my body. If it's pizza, then it's pizza, and if that means I have to go run 10 more minutes, then that means I have to go run 10 more minutes, because I'm not going to deny myself something because I'm afraid of a number. Right. And so like I do a lot of stuff like that, and then like I post just like a lot of stuff about like modeling. Like I don't know, like I feel like that's a really big part of myself. That's something that like is really out there, and then like makeup.
Mm-hmm.
So like those are my 3, but I guess like modeling and makeup kind of go together. I don't know. It's like hard to find 3. I have like.
I feel like
you can fall in the 5 category.
Yeah, right. We'll give you 5. And I feel like empowerment is a big one for you too. Like
it is, but like I feel like that also goes into like the first one, like
the real,
yeah, like the
being
realist,
authentic.
like
Yeah.
because like my personal brand, like I know my brand statement says like I'm a boundless woman, empowering the next generation to just become, you know, better, like to just be who they're meant to be and not allow anybody to deny them that, and not to deny anybody else that. And
Right.
so I think that like just being realistic in reality is like all of my things, because that's what I do. Like I love the spirituality thing, like that's a huge part of me. I'm Buddhist, like I go to temple, like
I want to know more.
and so like, but I don't like necessarily post out there, but I'm like always like karmic energy, like the world like it's gonna come back, the universe is like it has your back, it might not have your back, like what are you doing, like
Right.
and so I don't know, it just kind of all like does
all
this
connected,
thing.
right?
Yes, this
Crazy.
is I need like some string,
interwoven.
like
Right? It's like
yes.
It's a beautiful tapestry of your life. I love it. I think my first one would definitely be authenticity. I am a huge believer in being who you say you are and being the same person on social media as you would meet in real life. And that's one of the things I really try to tell people that I'm, working with, is who, I got a lot of feedback a few years ago saying like, when I first met you, I thought you were this really stuck-up person. I was really intimidated by you. And like, I mean, it's fun to throw on some oversized shades and red lipstick and walk around like you own the freaking planet. But at the end of the day, like I do want to be that authentic person that you see on social media. And so I might, post with giant shades and red lipstick and look amazing. But at the same time, like I want to bring that authenticity to what I do and to people I interact with. So I think authenticity is a huge one for me. And I'm going to say, like faith and spirituality is a big one too, because it just encompasses everything that we do. It just touches all parts, whether it's your personal life or your business. And I'm going to lump family in with that just because that kind of goes with my beliefs. And so I'll say my belief system and family, like those are my priorities right there. And so I try to be really authentic about those as well, and saying, hey, like I wanted to go work outside the house today, but today I'm stuck on the couch with a toddler who's puking, or, whatever. Like I'm very open about real life. And, so I definitely want to bring that to my business. And then also, for me, health and wellness, doing the health coaching and the wellness coaching thing, that's obviously a really big part of what I do. And so that for me is kind of my big main branding thing there, and had the unique opportunity to go and talk to pageant holders in Caitlin's pageant circuit, which was a really cool opportunity. And one of the big things that we talked about was how you brand yourself, how you come up with your branding statement. And I kind of took a really similar stance to Erin and saying like, pick 3 things, and one of those things needs to be like what you're about, and then put in another thing that makes you memorable, and then put in a qualifier. Not necessarily a qualifier, but just like an adjective about yourself. So authentic, real, passionate, driven, things like that. And, when you're coming up with a branding statement, I think having those in your branding statement is really important. And so on my Instagram, I don't remember exactly what my branding statement is, but it's something about like
I just pulled mine up.
authentic, right? I'm like, we're all going to look at what our branding statement is. Mine is a realistic and authentic approach to holistic living. And so that for me encompasses all the things that are important to me. What's your branding statement?
A boundless woman taking a genuine approach to empowering the next generation.
I love everything about that. What's yours?
Mine says soul success and empowerment coach, empowering ambitious women to master their mindset and step into their soul-aligned power and purpose.
Ooh, girl. All
Good
right.
girl.
I love this. So today we've been talking about small businesses, starting a side hustle, knowing when it's time to kind of transition that over into like the main thing that you do, your bread and butter. Next week, we're going to be talking all about the marketing side. This is one of the biggest things I really admire about Erin and what she does in her business. Not necessarily like what she does with her clients, but like she markets like nobody else I've ever seen. And she's going to talk a bit about her successes next week and share with us, kind of some of her secrets and how she does it. So we are looking forward to having you back next week. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure that you stay tuned next Wednesday for part 2 of our little mini series about small businesses. And before we wrap up, we want to thank our favorite small business, our sponsor, our location sponsor. This is Thrive Co-working in Gilbert. This is a space just for women to feel safe and empowered and connected here in Gilbert. So if you're starting a side hustle and you are looking for a place to set up shop, you don't even need to pay for a full-on office or a desk. You can just pay for the co-working space here. And we're going to give you a tour of this really awesome co-working space this week on our Instagram. So if you haven't checked out our Instagram, please do so. It's at The Savvy Blondes. You can also look at our website, savvyblondes.com, and make sure you subscribe to our channel. Erin, why don't you tell our viewers where to find you?
Sure. You guys can find me on Instagram, Erin Call. You can find me on Facebook, Erin Call, the Spiritual CEO, or at erincallcoaching.com. And I also have a free community for spiritual CEOs, all my soul sisters, entrepreneur ladies on Facebook, and that's called Spiritual CEO, and you are welcome to come hang out with us there and learn with us there.
Yeah, I'm in the group and it's amazing.
Me too.
I learn stuff all the time there, and it makes me so happy to see Erin out there doing what she does. So thanks again, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks guys so much for watching our channel, The Savvy Blondes. We'd love to thank our sponsors, Thrive Co-working for Women here in Gilbert. Thank you so much, Thrive. We're so excited and blessed to be a part of you and to be able to come here. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.